Hey everybody, it's time for game two in the Joe DiMaggio pursuit of his hitting streak. Again, the opponent is the Chicago White Sox. Again, we're at Yankee Stadium. This game was played on May 16th, 1941. For the Yankees, right-hander Marv Brewer will be on the mound. And for the White Sox, it's another lefty against Joe DiMaggio, and that's Thornton Lee. So the lineups pretty much were the same for the White Sox as they had in the first game. Knickerbocker at second, Appling at short, Cool at first, Taffy right and right, Loaded Gianni at third, Krivich in center, Hogue in left, Tresh catching, and Thornton Lee, the pitcher, batting ninth. Get to the Yankee lineup in the bottom of the first. They did make some changes because now they're facing, although they're facing another lefty, Joe McCarthy wanted to get his regulars back in there some. So there's a couple of tweaks to that lineup, but right now we're concentrating on the top of the first. And leading off for the White Sox will be Mr. Knickerbocker, second baseman. Get a 6-1, 6-1 on Knickerbocker is a 58. And 6-6 on Brewer is a 4. That's a 62. That's a double. So a leadoff double for Knickerbocker. And the White Sox are in business early. Here's Luke Appling. Another column 6, 6-4, and again it's a 60, so more trouble. A 2 in column 6 for Brewer is a 2, that's a 62. It's back-to-back doubles, and it's 1-0 already White Sox, so they've found column 6 to their liking. And Brewer has to shake that off. Here comes Joe Cool, trying to minimize the damage, keep it at 1 run. Column 6 again, 6-4. This time Cool's a 21, and 6-5's a 4, that's a total of 25, and that's a long single. Runners advance 2 bases, so that will score Appling, and the White Sox take a 2-0 lead, but there's also a little bit more possibly to this. It says here, the batter has the option to try for a double. Roll red and white die for umpire's call. 1-4, he'll be safe. And let's see here, the blue die is a 5, which means it went to the right fielder, and in this case that is Bordegaray, and his arm rating is a 3. The speed rating of Cool is a 4, so they're going to take the chance. I'm going to roll a red and white die. If the red die is 1-4, that's it, it's a double, he's safe. If the red die is a 5, he'll be safe if the white die is not higher than the runner's speed. Alright, so if it's a 6, then it's safe if the white die is higher than the outfielder's arm. Okay, so it's a couple of 1-4, he makes it. Anything else, it's some modifiers. It is a 6, red 6. So it says here on a red 6, safe if white die is higher than the outfielder's arm. Well, it certainly is. The white die is a 5. The outfielder's arm is only a 3. So Joe Cool actually does beat it out for a double. So 3 consecutive doubles to start the game. And even my little tripod is getting imbalanced here along with Marv Brewer. So he's got to really shake that off. Taffy right finally got out of column 6. 5-4 for right is a 27. 5-4 for Brewer is a 3. That's a 30 in column 5. That's a fly out to center field, and finally 1 away. And the runners have to hold. There is no moving to third on that. Here's Loaded Gianni. 4-3, that's a potential fielding play. 4-3 is a 1. 4-6 is a second baseman. Second baseman in this case is Joe Gordon. He's a 1. So that's a 2. Infield is back. So a ground ball to the right side will move the runner to third, but now there are 2 outs. So it's a 4-3 ground out. Cool goes to third. So 2 outs, runner at third. Here's Krivich. So a big batter here for Brewer. If he gets out of it, he can get out with just 2 runs, and his offense can certainly score. 6-2 is a 41. 6-4 is a 3. That's a 44. 44 in column 6, though, is a line drive hit. So that's going to make it 3-0 Sox here in the top of the first, as Krivich gets the base hit. Now it says One die, if die is high. I was talking about a runner going extra bases, but he was already on third, so it doesn't really matter, and it doesn't give any option for the batter to try for extra bases. So it's simply just a single. Runner at third, he's going to score easily. It's 3-0. Here's Merrill Hogue. 3-1 is a 4. 3-5 is a 4 also. It's an 8. 8 in column 3 is a single to center. And runner advances 1 base. So the hit parade continues. That'll bring up the number 8 hitter, Mike Tresh. So Brewer may not be around this game too much longer. He keeps this up. 3-1 is a 4. 3-3 is a 3. That's a 7 in column 3. That's a single to left. And it says 1 base, but it also says you can check with the third base coach. And that's what they may try to do with the pitcher up next to see if they can score that extra run. So we go to our third base coach. We check the runner's speed and the outfielder's arm. The single, in this case, on a 7 goes to left field. So you're looking at the arm of Keller, who's a 4. And the run rating of the man on third, Krivich. And let's see, Krivich is also a 4, so they're pretty even. Actually, they're exactly even. So on the third base coach, we'll be using the 0 column here. So the only way he's out is a 9. If he rolls a 4, 11, or 12, he has to hold. Anything else, he will score. So as long as it's not a 9, he's at least safe. It's 12, so that means he has to hold. 12, right down here, says he has to hold. So it's only a 1 base advancement on the single. He cannot score. So the bases remain loaded, and Thornton Lee, the pitcher, the 9th man to bat in the inning. It's a 5-4, and that's a 27, and a 5-6 is a 4. That's a 31. That is a fly to center, and the inning is finally over. 3 runs for the White Sox in the top of the first. They send all 9 to the plate. And we go to the bottom of the first. Yankees have their work cut out for them, down 3-0. And Thornton Lee, the lefty, joined that run support. He will be stepping in and leading off. Well, first of all, let's go through the lineup for the Yankees, since I said it was a little bit of a shakeup. Frenchie Bordegaray, the right fielder, will lead off. Red Rolfe at third base will hit second. Charlie Keller in left field will hit third. Jolton Joe DiMaggio is center fielder, hitting fourth. Joe Gordon is back at his familiar second base position, hitting fifth. Buddy Rosar is the catcher, hitting sixth. Frank Cressetti is going to play shortstop today instead of Rizzuto. He's going to bat 7th. Johnny Sturm's back at first base. He's hitting 8th. And Marv Brewer, the pitcher, batting 9th. So Frenchie Bordegaray will lead off against Thornton Lee. All 2s. 2-2 is an 11 for Bordegaray. 2-2 is a 2 for Thornton. That's for Thornton Lee, rather. That's a 13. And that's a single to left field. So it's a leadoff single for Bordegaray. And this may be a slugfest the way this is going. Here's Red Rolfe. That is a 3-2-4. 3-2 is a 2. 3-4 is a 1. That's a total of 3. It's a dribbler to the catcher. Batter out at first and lead runner holds unless forced. Other runners advance. So it says here the batter is out, so the runner's going to advance, because he was forced to move up. So it's not a fielder's choice. It's a ground out 2-3. Brings up Charlie Keller, left fielder. 2-1 is a 40, and a 2-1 is a 2. It's a 42. It's ground out to short, and that's 2 away. Runner holds at second. And here's Jolton Joe. See if he can get that hit early. Take the suspense away. 5-5 for DiMaggio is a 20. 5-1 is a 1. That's a 21. And that's a walk, so no hit, but he does reach base on the walk. And on a 21, we go to Action Chart M, because there could be a wild pitch or something along those lines. I can't steal because Bordegaray is in front of him, but we do check column M. It's a 7, and a column M, number 7, is checking on a wild pitch. So if the blue die is higher than the wild pitch rating of the pitcher, it's a wild pitch. They are both the same, 5 and 5, so no wild pitch. So we presume on to Joe Gordon. 6-3 is a 31, 6-1 is a 2, that's a 33. Column 6, let's pop up to second. Innings over. So Yankees mount a minor threat, nothing becomes of it. After 1 inning, it's the White Sox 3 and the Yankees nothing. And DiMaggio 0 for 1, searching for that hit. Here is Marv Brewer back on the mound with a short leash. Knickerbocker. 1-3 is a 4, 1-3 is a 1. That's a total of 5 in column 1. And all replay veterans know anything 2 through 6 in column 1 is a strikeout. So a better start for Brewer in this one. Oops, wrong batter, wrong stack. Luke Appling. 4-2 is a 16, 4-5 is a shortstop, and a shortstop Cressetti's a 2. That's a total of 18. And an 18 in column 4 is a simple ground out to short. 2 down. Comes Joe Cool. 6-3 is a 31, 6-5 is a 4, it's a 35, and that is a fly to left. So Marv Brewer kept his cool here in this top of the second and put the White Sox down in order 1, 2, 3. Try to bring some law and order back to this ball game. Here is the bottom of the second for Thornton Lee. He'll be facing Buddy Rozar, Frankie Cressetti, and Johnny Sturm. 4-2. 4-2 is a 17. 4-1's the first baseman. Cool. That's a 1. Makes a total of 18. That's a ground ball to the first baseman unassisted. 1 away. Here's Cressetti. 1-4. 1-4 is a 35. And a 1-3 is a 2. That's a 37. And that's a ground ball to second in column 1. 2 down for Johnny Sturm, the first baseman. 2-2 is a 3. 2-5 is a 3. It's a total of 6. And just like in column 1, a 2 through 6 is a strikeout. 1, 2, 3 go the Yankees. We go to the third. Still 3-0 Sox. And Marv Brewer back on the bump. We'll be facing Taffy Wright. Taffy Wright, right fielder, flew out to center his first time up. 4-1 is a 5. 4-3 is the third baseman, Rolfe. He's a 3. That's a total of 8. That's an easy ground out to third. 1 away for Dario Lodigiani. 5-4 is a 1 with a K after it. So if he reaches, we'll go to action chart K. But right now we can see if he reaches or not. 5-4 is, like I said, is a 1. 5-5 is a 3. It's a total of 4. 4 in column 5 is a grounder to short. So he does not reach. And therefore we do not go to any action chart. Here's Mike Krivich. 2-5. 2-5 is a 50. And a 2-5 is a 2. That's a total of 52 in column 2. That's a ground ball back to the pitcher. And the inning's over. Column 2 is where you can get some of your injuries, but I'm not playing injuries in this game since I'm doing an as-played replay. So in case that thought may cross your mind, that's why I'm not doing it. I'm not even checking it. So here is Marv Brewer, the pitcher. He's going to bat for himself since he's turned things around. 4-1 is a 17. 4-5 is the shortstop, and that is Appling. He's a 2. Total of 19. That makes it an easy 6-3 ground out. 1 away for top of the order in Frenchie Bordegaray. 4-4 is an 11. 4-3 is the third baseman, and the third baseman is Lodigiani. He's a 3. Total of 14, which means we need an error check on Lodigiani. He is an E25, so if the red and white die total more than 25, he's made an error. It does not. It totals 22, so it's a good play. Good play on a tough hop by Lodigiani. 2 down. And that'll bring up Red Rolfe. 5-1 is a 4. 5-6 is a 4. That's a total of 8 in column 5, and that's a 2-out walk to Red Rolfe. Every time I hear Red Rolfe, I think of Red Rover. I don't know why. Here's Charlie Keller. 3-4. 3-4 is a 57. Anytime you roll that 3-4, it's that odd, unusual, rare play type possibility. So we're going to roll 1 red die. If it's odd, we go to the rare play chart. If it's even, we go to a ground out to the pitcher or a ground ball to the pitcher. If it's a 1, we check a foul out in Yankee Stadium. It's a 6, so it's even. So we're going to the comebacker to the mound, dribbler to the mound play, and now the pitcher with 2 outs. You usually have the option of going against either the batter or the runner, but with 2 outs, it says you always check it against the batter. Batter is Keller. He's a 4, so if the red or white, if this red die is a 5 or 6, he'll be out. Anything else, he'll beat it out. He's 3, so he beat it out. So Keller, infield hit. Puts runners at first and second with 2 outs, and here comes Joltin' Joe looking for his hit. Keep the streak alive. 4-2. 4-2 is a 19, and a 4-6 is a second baseman. That is Knickerbocker. He's a 3. That's a total of 22 in column 4, and that's a single off the fielder's glove, so that's going to do it. That's going to get DiMaggio his hit. Let's check base running. Runners advance 1 base. Runner scores from second. So not only is it a base hit, it's an RBI single for DiMaggio. Cuts the lead to 3-1. All this with 2 outs and nobody on. Here's Joe Gordon. 4-3. 4-3 is a 16. 4-2 is the second baseman Knickerbocker. That's a 3. It's a 19. And that's a ground out to second to end the inning. But the run comes across to cut the lead to 3-1, and DiMaggio gets his hit. Maybe a cheapy hit, but it's a hit nonetheless. Counts the same in the record books. And after 3 completed, it's Chicago 3, Yankees 1, but DiMaggio does have his hit. Maybe he'll get a better hit later in the game to justify that. Here's Merrill Hogue. 5-3 is a 40J, so we go to action chart J if he reaches. 5-4 is a 3. That's a 43 in column 5, and that is a walk. So we'll be going to action chart J after the walk because that's what's on the card. So action chart J talks about stolen bases, caught stealing, balks, things like that. Roll the 2d6s. We get a 2. Total of 2 in column J. It's a SBE. SBE, which means stolen base plus possible throwing error on catcher. Roll against catcher's error rating. If the roll is higher, all runners advance. So the error rating on the catcher, Rosar, is a 62. So this has to be higher than a 62 for it to be an error. It is not. It's simply a stolen base for Hogue. So he is in scoring position with nobody out. As Mike Tresh, Tom Tresh. Mike Tresh is up to the plate. 3-4 is again that rare play chance because of that 57. So we're going to roll and see what happens. It's a 2, so again it's a comebacker to the mound. Since it's less than 2 outs, you can either try for the runner at runner at second, or we can try for the batter. Now let's see, the runner at second has a speed of 3, the batter has a speed of 2, and I believe that the runner on second is compelled to go. I don't think there's any option on this. Let's see here. It doesn't say anything about holding the runner, so we're going to roll against the speed. If it's higher than 3, then Hogue will be out at third. It is not. It's 2, so he beats it out. So it's a base hit. Actually, it's going to be, we're going to call it a fielder's choice because the throw went to third. So technically, that would be a fielder's choice. Tresh reaches on the fielder's choice. Brings up Thornton Lee, the pitcher, and runners at the corners, nobody out. He hit 254 on the year, so he's not going to bunt. He's going to swing away. It's a 3-4, and that's a 1, and a 3-2 second baseman, and that is Gordon. He's a 1. That's a total of 2. With the infield halfway, that's a double play. Everybody else advances, so the run will score, but it is a 4-6-3 double play. Run does score, it extends the lead to 4-1, but they wanted to avoid the big inning, so bases are clear, 2 outs for Knickerbocker. 2-6, that's the Rays number here in the orange. Roll a red die and see what Yankee Stadium does to that. It's a 3, it was a 4. The 3 in column 2 drops this to a 2. That's going to make it easier for the outfielder range to catch it. The blue die is a 1. Which means the outfielder in question is the left fielder Keller. He's a 4, so he will now catch that. Had that stayed a 4, it would have dropped in, but the Yankee Stadium ballpark effect took care of that, and that ends the inning. But the White Sox pick up a run, and after 3.5, it is Chicago 4, Yankees 1. And that might be it for Brewer. We'll have to wait and see. His turn is coming up in the batting order shortly, so could see a pinch hitter. Here's Buddy Rosar. 1-6 is a 45, and that's a strikeout. The way I know that is on the chart, if there's nobody on base, it's a strikeout. So Anything 46 to 50 is a strikeout. So you take the 45, add it to anything the pitcher gives you, it is a strikeout. So that's one away. Here's Frank Cressetti. 5-3, that's an 8. And a 5-1 is a 1. It's a total of 9 in column 5, and that is a walk. So a walk, although there is a raised 1 next to his number here. So he has a chance to fend off that walk. If he rolled a 1 on the D6, then it becomes 2 balls instead. And he does. How about that? So Thornton Lee, because of his good control, was able to hold that off. It's now just 2 balls. And Cressetti will step back in. So 1-1, that's a 20. 1-6 is a 3, it's a 23. That's going to be a line drive single with a chance for an error. Blue die's a 6, so we're checking the right fielder. Right fielder is right. He's a 31, so if this is higher than 31, it'll be an error. It's a 11, so no error, just simply a single for Cressetti. Brings up Johnny Sturm. 6-6 for Sturm, and that's a left-right split for Sturm. Against a lefty, you read the left side of the fraction, which makes that a 59, which takes it out of the home run range, but it does put it into the base hit, most likely double range, whereas 8 could be a home run range, but it's a 59. And then 6-5 is a 3 for Thornton Lee. That makes the total of 62, and a 62 is a double into the corner. Runner advances 2 bases. So Sturm, with a 1-out double, puts runners at second and third. And they're going to have to pinch hit for Brewer. They need some offense to try to make up those runs. They'll try to depend on their bullpen to help them out. So let's see, with the lefty on the mound, they're going to a right-handed pinch hitter. And that will be Jerry Pretty. So Jerry Pretty, step in and pinch hit. Jerry Pretty. Second and third. The infield's going to stay back. They want to get the out. 2-1. 2-1 is a 21 on Pretty. 2-5 is a 3. It's a 24 to column 2, and that is a ground out catcher to first, but the runner does advance. So it says runners advance 1 base. So it's a 2-3 ground out, but it will be an RBI. And Cressetti will score, and Sturm will go to third. Cuts the lead to 4-2. So Pretty, an RBI ground out. Wasn't pretty, but he got the job done. Here's Bordegaray. 6-5, it's a 31. 6-1 is a 2, it's a 33. Let's pop out to second, and that's going to end the inning. But a run does score. They get the run back they gave up in the top half. After 4 complete, it is the White Sox 4 and the Yankees 2. And the Yankees will now go to their bullpen, and they will go to their long relief man. Let's see here. They're going to go to their long relief man, Charlie Stansu. I guess it's pronounced Stansu. Don't remember. So Stansu is in. Forgot to write Brewer up here at the top. That was pretty lazy. Alright, so Brewer ends up going just 4 innings. So Stansu is going to face Luke Appling to start things off here in the top of the 5th. It'll be Appling cool and right. Appling 4-2 is a 16. 4-6 is the second baseman Gordon. That's a 1-17, so that is a ground out. 1 away for Joe Cool. 3-4. 3-4 is again the rare play because it's a 57. 3-4. It's an even number, so we're going to have a play, a dribbler to the mound. Cool's a 4. If this is a 5 or a 6, he's out. Anything else, he's safe. It's a 6, so he's out. Stansu was able to get to him. 1-3 ground out, 2 down for Taffy Wright. 6-3 is a 16. 6-1 is a 1-17. Fly out to left. Inning is over. So we go to the bottom of the 5th. Still 4-1 in favor of Pail Hose. Thornton Lee back on the mound. We'll be facing Red Rolf. It'll be Rolf, Keller, and DiMaggio. Heart of the order. 2-4. 2-4 is a 50. 2-3 is a 2. That's a 52. That is a ground ball to the pitcher. 1 away. Brings up Charlie Keller. 4-4 for Keller is an 11. 4-1 is the first baseman. Cool, he's a 1. That's a 12. And that is a possible error. Joe Cool's a 51 error rating. And that was a 12, so he made the play no problem. 2 down. And here's Jolton Joe. See if he can get a more legitimate hit than got last time. 2-1. 2-1 is a 39. I doubt he gets it this time with a 39. 2-1's a 39. 2-5's a 3. It's a 42. That is a ground out to short. Innings over. So 5 innings in the books. Still 4-1 Sox. Stanso back out. His second inning of work. And he'll be facing Dario Lodigiani. He's 0 for 2. Popped to second and grounded to second. Not this time though. 6-6. That's going to put him in a favorable position. That's an 8, but it's also the ballpark, so we're going to re-roll for Yankee Stadium. That's a 2, so that makes it a 9. It went from an 8 to a 9. Since he's right-handed, went from an 8 to 9. And then the blue die for the pitcher was a 3. That's a 2. So a 9 and a 2 is an 11. That's a single, but there's an asterisk there. If you roll a 6, it becomes a home run. It's a 1, so it's still a single. So Lodigiani, solid single to lead off. Brings up Mike Krivich. 2-4, that's a 50. And a 2-3 is a 3. It's a 53, and that is a ground out to the pitcher with the runner advancing. So it acts like a pseudo-sacrifice. Here's Miro Hogue. 5-5 is a 15. 5-5 is a 5. It's a 20. That's an infield single. Let's go put runners at the corners, and it sends us to the action chart. Action chart M. So action chart M it is. And we get a 7. Action chart M, a 7 is a wild pitch check. The blue die against the wild pitch rating. His wild pitch rating is a 1. This is a 2. That means it's a wild pitch because it's greater than that. So wild pitch brings in a run. So Stansu has just wild pitched in a run to make it 5-1. Moves up Hogue to second. Takes the double play out of possibilities. And here's Tresh. 3-5 is a 3. 3-5 is a 5. That's a total of 8. And that's a single to center field. Check base running. Runner advances 1 base, so he goes to third. But there is a star by Tresh's thing here, which means he gets an opportunity to steal. So we go to our book and check the hold rating and the arm rating of the catcher, or defensive rating I should say, and we'll compare it to the grid and see where we fall. Stansal's a 1 hold rating and Rosar's a 4, so a 1 hold and a 4 defense is a 33. So if it's less than or equal to this thing, the runner holds. So we're going to roll 2 dice. If it's less than 33, the runner holds. If it's greater than 33, he will steal. It is less than, so he had to hold. Alright, couldn't get the jump. Alright, so with 1 out and 1 in, here's Thornton Lee again. 6-1. 6-1 is a 16. 6-4 is a 2. It's an 18. And that is a deep fly to left, which will be scored as a sacrifice fly. So Thornton Lee helping his own cause with the sacrifice fly. Hence why he did not bunt. So that makes it a 6-1 game. Here's Knickerbocker. 2-3 is a 50. 2-6 is a 4. It's a 54. And that is a ground ball to second to end the inning. But 2 runs come in, and all of a sudden it is a 6-1 ball game. And the Yankees are in serious trouble against the Sox, and Thornton Lee is pitching really, really well. So Thornton Lee back out there. And we'll be facing Joe Gordon. So Joe Gordon leads off. Gordon, a 6'5" is a 36. That's an automatic strikeout. In column 6, when you get a 36, that's automatic strikeout. Don't have to go any further. Here's Buddy Rosar. That is a 1-5-2. 1-5 is a 35. 1-2 is a 2. It's a 37. That's a ground ball to second. And there's 2 away. Bring up Frank Crissetti. 4-1 is a 1, and a 4-2 is a second baseman Knickerbocker. He's a 3. He makes a total of 4. That's an easy ground out. 6 innings in the books. It is 6-1 White Sox. Now let's see how they want to play this. I guess they're going to go ahead and let Stansel pitch another inning. Maybe. Let's see. He's got a relief rating of 8. You know what? We're going to go ahead and make a pitching change. Pitching change forthcoming. And actually it's going to be a double switch. So we're going to make a pitching change double switch. And we're going to have Norm Branch come in and pitch for the Yankees. And Branch is going to hit in the 7th position where Crissetti just made the last out. So Branch will pitch and bat 7th. And Phil Rizzuto will take over at shortstop, hitting in the 9th position. So Phil Rizzuto will now bat 2nd next inning. So make those changes real quick to the score sheet. Get everything lined up where it needs to be. Put Rizzuto in his rightful spot. And we'll put Branch in his rightful spot. And put Crissetti on the bench. Last of the duties. Alright, now we're ready to go. Luke Appling will lead it off here against the new pitcher Norm Branch. 5-3. 5-3 is a 40. 5-1 is a 5. It's a 45. That is a walk. That is a walk. So leadoff walk by Appling brings up Joe Cool. Joe Cool. 3-5. 3-5 is a 12. 3-2 is a 1. That's a 13 in column 2. That's a single to left field. Single to left. Check base running. Runner advances 1 base. So runners at first and second. Nobody out for Taffy Wright. 5-6 is a 3F. 5-3 is a 5. That's a total of 8. And that's a walk. So that will load the bases. And Branch having his struggles. And it says we go to the action chart F. But that talks about caught stealing and the bases are loaded. So there's no way we can do that. So we're going to skip that. There's no chance of a pass ball or anything like that. So Loaded Gianni is going to swing away. 1-4 is a 35. 1-6 is a 1. It's a 36. Infield's at halfway, so it's a second to first double play. Everybody else advances. So it's a 4-6-3 to get those 2 outs. However, Appling does score. Makes the score 7-1. No RBI given to Loaded Gianni. But they wanted to get out of that jam, so that's why they played back. Here's Krivich. Had they played in, it would have been a fielder's choice out at home for just the first out. So take your chances either way. 2-1. 2-1 is a 36. 2-4 is a 1. That's a 37. And that's a ground out pitcher to first. That's going to end the inning. So a run comes across. We go to the 7th inning stretch. It is Chicago 7, Yankees 1. And the White Sox with Thornton Lee on the mound seemingly in complete control. Alright, Johnny Sturm to lead things off. 6-6 for Sturm. Again, he's had that once before because he's on this left-hand side of the equation, which is a 59. 6-5 is a 3. This makes a total of 62 for another double. So back-to-back times that Sturm has had that 6-6 roll, but facing a lefty has taken the home run away from him. I made it a double. Here's Rizzuto, his first time up since coming into the game. 5-2 is a 27. 5-2 is a 1, it's a 28. And a 28 is a fly to right. And there's one away. Whoops, wrong column, put it here. Rizzuto's down here. There we go. Alrighty. Frenchie Bordegaray. 5-5 is a 7. 5-5 is a 3. It's a 10. And that's going to be a walk. Let's put runners at first and second. With one away for Red Rolf. 1-6 is a 45. And that time now with the runner at first. The runner at first and second. Force play is on. The infield's a halfway. It's a comebacker to the pitcher. It's not a strikeout. So now what we do is roll one die against the pitcher's defensive rating. If the die is higher, scored as double play. His defensive rating is a 3. So if this die is higher than a 3, it's a DP. If not, it's a fielder's choice. It's a 5, so it is a double play. Call it 1-6-3. And the inning is over. So look like the Yankees might have something going, but double play definitely kills that rally. Go to the 8th, and here's Norm Branch. Second inning of work. He'll be in to face Merrill Hogue. It's a 4-4, and that's an 11. And a 4-1 is the first baseman Sturm. He's a 3, that's a 14, which means it's an error check. Sturm is an E41. And it's a 51, so that's an error, and the blue die is a 6, so it's a 2-base error. So a 2-base error by Johnny Sturm will put Hogue to second base with nobody out. So that blue die being a 6 gives it a 2-base error. So here's Mike Tresh. 2-2 is an 11. 2-1 is a 1. It's a total of 12 in column 2, and that's a single to left field. A single to left field, however, there is a star here, which means if the pitcher has a star beside his column 2 grade, results 12 to 6 are changed to a pop-up to first. So since we're here and not in these two, we're at the column 1 because of that blue die. We're at the row 1, I should say. That's going to be a pop-up. So it's a pop-up to first base. One away. Brings up Thornton Lee. Thornton Lee. 1-1 is a 20. 1-4 is a 1. It's a 21. And that's a line drive single. I told you Lee was a good hitter. So it's a single. Runners advance one base, but there's a chance for an error. The blue die is a 4, which means that's a center fielder, DiMaggio. And he's an E24, so he's not a very good fielder as far as his error goes. He's got great range, but a little rough on the errors. And it's 26, so DiMaggio does make the error. And that means Hogue will come around to score. So no RBI given again because he scores on the error. But the pitcher, Lee, will come to second base because of the error by DiMaggio. Run scores, it's 8-2. Here is Knickerbocker. 5-1 is a 4, 5-1 is a 5, that's a total of 9, and that is a walk. Put runners at first and second. Still only one out. Here's Appling. 6-6 is a 7, 6-1 is a 1, it's a total of 8, that's a base hit to left. That's going to load the bases as the pitcher, Lee, will stop at third. So that'll bring up Joe Cool, and that's going to be all for Norm Branch. They can't go any further with him. He's a stroke of bad luck and a stroke of bad fielding that's taking the toll on him. So they're going to prune the branch and get him out of there. And they're going to go to their bullpen. And you know what? They don't have anybody really that's a lefty out of the bullpen. So they're going to have to go to another right-hander. It's going to be Steve Peak. So Steve Peak will be in. Steve Peak. So Peak is on. And that'll bring up Joe Cool. 5-1. 5-1 is a 3. 5-5 is a 5. It's a total of 8. 8 says with bases loaded, count as 2 balls. Well, the bases are loaded, so we count it as 2 balls. It's not a walk. Try again. 2-5 is a 50. 2-5 is a 5. That's a 55. 55 is a ground out second to first. Runners advance one base. Had the infield been in, it would have been a base hit. So at least they get the out, which is out number 2. It's a 4-3 ground out, but the runner does score. Another unearned run comes across. RBI for Cool. Runners now at second and third. 2 runs are in. It's now 9-2. Here's Taffy Wright. Sorry couldn't have a closer game for you guys. 3-6, that's a left-right split, and he's a lefty facing a righty. So again, the Yankees not having that lefty reliever hurt them. It's a base hit with a 2-base advancement, and that's going to score both runs. 2 more unearned runs. As all this is happening because the error keeps the inning going. 2 more runs come in. That's 4 for the inning. Makes it a let's see here, 7, 9, 11-2. Here's loaded Gianni. If you don't like the Yankees, this is your game. Whoa, 666. That could be trouble. 666. So the 8 is shaded. Let's see what it turns into. It's a 5. That turns it into a 6. And then the 4 makes that a 10. So that's going to be a single. That is a single. That will move right to second base. And now the 9th man to bat in the inning, Mike Krivich. 4-3 is an 11. 4-1 is the first baseman Sturm. That's a 3. It's a 14. So we're doing an error check on Sturm. He's an E41. And that's a 43. So Sturm boots it. His second error of the game. Yankees just falling apart here. They're going to bat around are the White Sox. E3. And that's going to load the bases. And the order flips over again, which means Merrill Hogue. Hogue, a 2-5 is a 50, and a 2-6 is a 5. It's a 55. That is a ground out to second to end the inning. So 1, 2, 3, 4 runs come in. It's now 11-2. Certainly no more mystery of who's going to win the game. That's for certain. And Charlie Keller will lead off against Thornton Lee, who can just casually continue this game. 5-1 is a 5. 5-2 is a 1. It's a total of 6. 6 is a walk, but he does have the raised number. So if we roll a 1 here to match that raised number, it will not be a walk. And we do. So it's 2 balls on Keller. 2-3 is a 16. 2-4 is a 3. It's a 19 in column 2. That is a fly out to center field. So that tells you what kind of control Thornton Lee had. Here's DiMaggio. He got that scratch out hit back in the 3rd. See if we get a more clean hit. 3-4 is a 32. 3-4 is a 1. It's a 33. 33 is a line out to center. So it's a good thing he got that scratch hit because Thornton Lee's shutting most everybody down. Here's Joe Gordon. 6-6 is an 11. 6-5 is a 4. It's a 15. That is a home run. Blast by Joe Gordon. 15 takes it way over the fence. Anything 13 to 16 is a home run, so that took care of that. But it only gives the Yankees a field goal. They now trail it by the score of 11-3. 1-4 for Rosar is a 35. 1-5 is a 2 is a 37. That's a ground ball to second. And the inning is over. So we go to the 9th. Steve Peak back in there to try to get through this without any further damage. And Merrill Hogue, the batter. Actually, Hogue, check that, he made the last out of the last inning when they batted around, so I have to rearrange these. So it's actually Mike Tresh who's going to step in. 4-6 is 11. 4-6 is the second baseman Gordon. He's a 1. That's a 12. Error check on Gordon. He's an E31. That's a 41, so it's another error. So Gordon commits the error. So that's the 4th Yankee error in the ball game. And we're going to get a pinch hitter for Thornton Lee. He's going to go ahead and call it a day. And they'll bring in, let's see who they want to bring in here to pinch hit. They're going to bring in Larry Rosenthal to pinch hit for Lee. And then they can pretty much bring in anybody they want to pitch because they have such a big lead. So Rosenthal is in to face Peak. 6-4 is a 31. 6-4 is a 3. It's a 34. That's a fly to center. One away for Knickerbocker. It's a 2-5, and that's a 16. 2-5 is a 5 is a 21. That's a fly to left. 2 down for Mr. Luke Appling. 2-2 is an 11. 2-5 is a 5. It's a 16. That's a single. So Appling singles, and the runner Tresh will advance 1 base. Runners at first and second for Mr. Cool, Joe Cool. 3-6, that's the left-right split again, and again, they don't have a lefty reliever, so that's going to be a base hit. It's going to score a run. So again, they were kind of handcuffed by not having that lefty reliever. Of course, in a game like this, with this score, it may not matter anyway, but still, you like to have those. That'll bring up Taffy Wright. 2-4. 2-4 is a 16. 2-6 is a 5. It's a 21. It's a fly to left. Inning's over. Run does score. And that's 6, 8, 9. That's 12. 12-3 as we go to the bottom of the 9th. And we will get a new pitcher for the White Sox. Really doesn't even almost matter who it is. They're going to go with Pete Appleton.